Hollywood's golden age dazzled the world with images of divine perfection, selling the illusion that movie stars were flawless beings, untouched by scandal, untouched by hardship, glowing like gods on 20-foot screens. But beneath the carefully polished surface lay dark family secrets that no one was ever meant to see. Secrets so deeply buried by studios, managers, and even the stars themselves that entire biographies had to be rewritten to keep the illusion alive. These weren't just petty scandals whispered in gossip columns. These were hidden truths that defined lives, scarred children, and rewrote legacies. And only decades later, when the facade finally cracked, did the world realize just how much of old Hollywood was built on lies. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 12 of the most shocking family secrets in Golden Age Hollywood, and what you'll see will forever change how you look at these stars. Let's begin with Marilyn Monroe, perhaps the most famous name in cinema history, a woman immortalized as the ultimate fantasy, the platinum blonde sex symbol who captivated the entire world. Yet Marilyn's life began in chaos. She never knew her father. Her mother, Gladys, was institutionalized with mental illness, and Norma Jean spent her childhood bouncing between foster homes, orphanages, and guardians who often treated her cruelly. She was even sexually abused in her teens, scars she carried forever. To escape, she married young, not for love but for stability. And yet Hollywood later erased this history, presenting her as a playful goddess rather than a wounded child who had clawed her way out of abandonment. Her glamorous image wasn't just performance, it was armor built against a reality of loneliness and trauma. Then there's the scandal of Clark Gable and Loretta Young, a story so explosive that it remained hidden for decades. In 1935, while filming Call of the Wild, the king of Hollywood and the devout Catholic actress engaged in a brief affair that resulted in Loretta's pregnancy. At the time, an unwed mother could see her career destroyed overnight, so Young vanished from the spotlight, later staging a public adoption of her own daughter. The child, Judy Lewis, grew up never knowing the truth, enduring teasing about her Gable ears without realizing why. Loretta only confessed privately decades later, and Hollywood's cover-up was so complete that the truth didn't reach the public until long after Gable's death. It was a reminder of how the studio system not only controlled stars' careers, but rewrote their entire family histories. Rock Hudson, another towering Hollywood name, lived a life built on fabrication as well. In the 1950s and 60s, Hudson was the ultimate matinee idol, tall, handsome, the dream husband every woman supposedly wanted. But Hudson was gay in an era when such truth could end a career instantly. To silence rumors, Universal Studios arranged a marriage to his secretary, Phyllis Gates, a union carefully photographed and promoted to magazines. Yet the marriage was loveless, short-lived, and entirely designed to protect the brand of Rock Hudson. His personal truth was stolen from him, and when he became the first major celebrity to die of AIDS in 1985, his hidden life exploded into the public eye, forcing Hollywood and America to confront its hypocrisy. Merle Oberon, the luminous star of Wuthering Heights, lived under a lie even more personal, her very identity. Born in India to a mother of mixed ancestry, Oberon faced an industry that refused to accept anyone not purely white. To survive, she reinvented herself, claiming she was born in Tasmania and that her mother was her maid. She bleached her heritage out of her biography, hiding her true story so thoroughly that it wasn't until years after her death that her origins were fully revealed. Her reinvention was a tragic testament to how racism shaped the very fabric of old Hollywood. Rita Hayworth, another goddess of the screen, suffered a similar transformation, one orchestrated by the studio system itself. Born Margarita Cancino, she was forced by Columbia Pictures to erase her Latina identity. Her dark hair was dyed auburn. Her hairline was painfully altered with electrolysis to make her look less foreign, and she was given a new name. Rita Hayworth became a global sensation, yet the price of that stardom was the erasure of Margarita Cancino's heritage. Beneath the dazzling posters, the truth was that her family history had been sacrificed for marketability.
Jack Nicholson's family secret was more personal and more devastating because it was hidden not by studios, but by the people closest to him. In 1974, when Nicholson was already a rising star, Time magazine journalists uncovered a stunning fact. The woman Jack thought was his sister was in fact his mother, and the woman he believed to be his mother was actually his grandmother. Nicholson had been raised in a web of lies designed to conceal a teenage pregnancy, and the revelation left him shaken, realizing that his entire childhood was a carefully maintained deception. Even he admitted he didn't feel betrayed, but the shock of discovering such a secret as an adult reshaped his understanding of family forever. Similarly, Raymond Burr, beloved as Perry Mason, lived under layers of invention. Hollywood invented an entire fictional family for him, a wife who never existed, a son who supposedly died of cancer, all fabricated to disguise the truth. Burr was gay. He repeated these stories in interviews, knowing they weren't his own, trapped in a system that erased his reality to maintain an image. His fabricated family life was one of the most elaborate deceptions in Hollywood history, showing just how mercilessly the system buried personal truths.
The so-called romance of Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn also carried its own hidden family story. While fans adored their decades-long love affair, Tracy was in fact married and deeply tormented by his Catholic faith, never divorcing his wife. Behind the glamorous affair was the private tragedy of his son, John, born deaf, whose disability was largely hidden from the public. Tracy struggled privately with guilt, responsibility, and pain, but Hollywood chose instead to promote a sanitized love story with Hepburn, burying the more complicated reality of his family life. Joan Crawford, meanwhile, presented herself as Hollywood's ultimate mother, adopting children and filling magazines with images of maternal devotion. Yet Christina Crawford's memoir, Mommy Dearest, shattered that facade, describing a mother who was abusive, manipulative, and cruel behind closed doors. Even if the book exaggerated some details, enough whispers circulated to confirm that Crawford's perfect mother image was a Hollywood mask hiding a painful family truth.
Bing Crosby, the smooth-voiced crooner, also carried a secret family darkness. To the world, he was the wholesome entertainer whose Christmas songs became tradition, but his sons later revealed that life at home was far from warm. Gary Crosby described a father whose strict discipline bordered on cruelty, whose belt left more than emotional scars. The contrast between Bing's public image and his private reality was so jarring that even fans struggled to reconcile the two. Judy Garland, one of the most beloved stars of all time, endured her own family tragedies, many inflicted by the industry itself. Forced into addiction by MGM's pill regimens as a teenager, Garland became a mother while still fighting her own demons. Her children, Liza Minnelli, Lorna Luft, and Joey Luft, grew up in an environment of chaos, love, and heartbreak, where their mother was both their greatest inspiration and their greatest source of instability. Garland's family story was as tragic as it was extraordinary, forever entwined with the legacy of an industry that consumed her.
Finally, Patty Duke, whose Oscar-winning smile masked deep personal turmoil. Behind the scenes, she lived through paternity scandals, failed marriages, and the chaos of untreated bipolar disorder, only revealing the truth years later when she bravely spoke about her struggles. For much of her career, Hollywood kept her demons hidden, promoting only the fairy tale while her family life unraveled in secrecy. So, there you have it, 12 of the most shocking hidden family secrets of Hollywood's golden age. Stories that reveal not just the pain of individuals, but the ruthless way an industry controlled images, buried truths, and sacrificed reality for illusion. These weren't just scandals, they were betrayals. Fathers denied, children abandoned, identities erased, and family histories rewritten to protect the machinery of stardom. The next time you watch Marilyn Monroe's playful smile or Bing Crosby's warm holiday tunes, remember that behind the light of the screen often lay a shadow no one was ever meant to see.